All right, so what we're going to talk about here is the three AIA documents that you're responsible to navigate, okay, on your business and finance exam. Um, I uh, First of all, I want to talk about what AIA is. Okay, AIA is the American Institute of Architects. Now, if you think about your larger projects, you might understand that there is going to be a lot of different things that have to be addressed. Okay. You've got subcontractors, you've got your bidding, you've got your payment, you've got your insurance, you've got your project manager who's gonna be your superintendent. Okay, how are you going to handle change orders? What if you don't agree on a change order? What if there's an incident? What if there's unforeseen conditions? There's just hundreds of things that can come up on a contract. Okay. And they all really should be addressed in the contract. It should be addressed. Now, the problem with not using a standardized contract is that each time you do a contract, you would have to read the whole thing and make sure that you didn't miss anything. Okay, how am I supposed to apply for my payment? How am I supposed to get paid? What is the time frame? Once I tell them I'm ready for some money, how long is it going to be before they pay me? So there's just all these different things. If there's an issue, who do I contact? Do I contact the owner? Do I contact the architect? So there's just dozens and dozens of issues that might come up on a project. Well, American Institute of Architects, to resolve that confusion, has decided to come up with some standardized documents. Three of these you're responsible for understanding a little bit about. Okay, so the first one, remember, these might all be in one binder and they have to be in a binder on test day. So be careful of that. Don't go with these just single like this. They've got to be in a binder somehow. Okay, so you have your 201, your AIA 201. This is the general conditions of the contract for construction. Let's talk about that for a minute. The 201 is all about three people on the project. There's the owner and the architect and the contractor, the owner of the property, the project being built, the architect, okay, and the contractor. All right. So if you get a question that says, for instance, how many days do you need to apply for payment? Okay, before how many days before the date due for payment do you have to apply for payment? It'll tell you in here. Okay, and then it'll tell you that the architect's responsibility to either approve that application for payment or deny it, or approve it partially and deny it partially, and then they're going to send it to the owner, and then the owner has so many days to actually pay you. Okay, so get it. If you just open up the first cover, the cover of that 201, it says page 1 at the bottom right. It's got a table of articles, so it's real easy to get an idea of what's in here, general provisions. And then you've got article 2, the owner's responsibility. This is the project owner. Then you have the contractor's responsibilities. Then you have the architect's responsibilities. Then you have some information about subcontractors. Okay, and I'm not going to go over 6, but 7 is changes in the work. That could be a change order or a construction change directive, as they call it. The time, okay, how long do you have to do certain things? It's 9. I talked about payments and completion, how you apply for payments and so forth. Number 10, protections of person and property. Number 11 is all about insurance. We know how important insurance is and bonds on a job. Uncovering correction of work. 12, 13 miscellaneous provisions, and then termination of a contract, a termination or suspension of a contract and claims and disputes. So it gives you a general idea of what's in here. Okay, so that'll help. And there is an index. Now, the reason you may not think there's an index is because the index in this one is actually in the front of the document. So you flip over one page and here's the index. So if you get a question, you think it's, they either tell you it's in the AIA, so they might just say according to the AIA 201, or it might specifically talk about the relationship between any two parties, two of them being the owner or the contractor or the architect. Then there's a good chance it's going to be in the AIA 201. But use that index. It's the biggest of the AIA documents, and there's probably going to be more questions here than any of the documents themselves. So this is all about, it's called general conditions, and it's all about the relationship between the owner of the project, the architect, and the contractor, and their responsibilities and rights and obligations to each other. Anything like that, use the index in the 201. See if you can find it. The next one I want to talk about is the 401. The 401 is the agreement between the contractor and the subcontractor. Whenever I hear the term subcontractor, bing, a little light goes off. This might be in the 401. It's not a definite, because there is subcontract information in your contractor's manual. There's a lot of information, but it's more general type of information. This is specific stuff. Okay. After the contractor gets paid, how long does he have to pay the subcontractor? Subcontractors losing insurance, how long does he have to notify the contractor? So on and so forth. The contractor's not happy with the subcontractor's work. How does he notify the subcontractor? How many days does the subcontractor have to correct it? So 401, no index here, but it's not very big. So just look at the table of articles. Okay, and that's going to be on page 3. And you just peruse those if you like. Okay, the documents, the number 2, mutual rights and responsibility. 3, the contractor's responsibilities. 4, the subcontractor. 5, once again, changes in the work. 6, claims and disputes. 7, termination, suspension, or assignment of the subcontract, and so forth. Okay, so that's the 401. The 701 is the instructions to bidders. Whenever I hear the term bidding, okay, I think 701. Okay, this tells the bidders exactly what to expect and exactly what is expected of them. Okay, and there's different things. It's not very long. Just go ahead and read the whole thing if you have the time. But whenever I hear the term bidders, I'm thinking AIA 701. So that's just a brief overview. All right. At some point, hopefully you'll be able to go into more detail, but that's just a brief overview of the AIA, American Institute of Architects, documents. Okay, very good.